Good day, students. Today we are going to start with a new unit, that is unit number 3 of your IT syllabus. This unit is called digital documentation. Now, digital documentation means that we will be able to use a software to write reports, letters, projects, and whatever text data you want to write. You can form any particular document with the help of a software. And today we are going to learn and understand a new software which is called as Open Office. We are going to use Open Office Writer to understand how to create documents. So let us go into it. But before we go into Open Office software, which is the software which we are going to use, let me give you a slight briefing about it. Now, Apache Open, we are going to this time in your textbook, that is in the PDF notes which are there in the CBSE, they have asked you to download a software which is called as Libre Open Office. Now, there is no much of a difference between what we are asking. I am asking you to download a software called as Apache Open Office. The reason being that in standard 10 you are going to actually have the same Open Office software which you are going to use. So it is better that instead of learning LibreOffice in the 9th standard and then shifting over to Apache Open Office in standard 10, we start with Apache Open Office itself in 9th standard itself. So you will become familiar with using it even in 10th standard. There is not much of a difference between both these softwares. Both are free to download software. This is the most important thing. Let me reiterate that it is not a paid software. It is free and you can download it onto your system without paying any price. Why the board has shifted over to an open office source software is that many people may not have the resources to purchase software for creating. That is the if I want to buy a Microsoft Office software, it is a little bit expensive for many students to purchase a licensed copy, whereas if I use any of these open office source softwares, they are free to download. So you can download the open office software free on your computer. Now the method and the way of doing it I have explained to you further on. Also understand that in the text, although the PDF notes from CBSE site contains the LibreOffice, both this OpenOffice softwares are almost the same. So it does not make a difference, and I will also be providing you notes for the same. So please do not get confused as to why it is LibreOffice in the PDF notes and why I am asking you to download the Apache OpenOffice. So both of them are almost the same. So there is no much of a difference. The only thing is from the point of view of standard 10. So now let us look at downloading the software and using it. Students, I am going to now tell you how to download Apache OpenOffice software onto your system. For this purpose, you have to double click on the Chrome, your web browser, and in the search bar you will type openoffice.org. It will then take you to openoffice.org Apache official site. Click on that and now click on the download option. Once you click on the download option, a window like this will open. You have to, for your Windows, whichever is your operating system, you have to select that. For all Windows, there is only one exe file, the language is English, and then you will click on download full installation. When I click on this, it will take me to another window and you will get a message, your download will start shortly. A new exe file will get downloaded onto your system, Apache OpenOffice.exe. Can you see it here? You will double click once it is completed its installation or downloading. You will double click on the exe file and following all the steps which have been given, you will install this free Apache OpenOffice software onto your computer. Once I have completed downloading the Apache OpenOffice, I have two options. One is a shortcut gets created on the desktop over here,
or else we can just click on the start menu and look at the OpenOffice software, and under this we have got the different OpenOffice Writer, Base, Math, etc. Over here we can either open it from this option or from the shortcut key which is generated on the desktop. So when I double click on this shortcut, it opens up this box which tells you the different packages which are available under this suite. Just like how MS Office has got MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint and MS Access, Outlook, etc. In the same way, this OpenOffice software has got the text document which is the OpenOffice Writer, spreadsheet, presentation softwares, database and drawing software and many such options. So now today we are going to start with the first option which is text document or OpenOffice Writer. So we will double click on this text document and this OpenOffice Writer with Untitled 1 opens up for me. Now this OpenOffice Writer is exactly in comparison, if you look at it, how we have got Microsoft Word in MS Office Suite, in the same way OpenOffice Writer is the text document which opens in OpenOffice Suite. So now let us look at the different components of this OpenOffice Writer document. The toolbar at the extreme top of the screen is the title bar. This title bar contains the name of the document, which whatever is the name. Once the document is saved, as of now it is showing Untitled 1, and the moment you save the document, the name gets the Untitled 1 gets replaced with the name of the document that you have saved. Below the title bar is the menu bar. This menu bar contains different options with the help of which we can work on the Office Writer. The next below this bar is called as the standard toolbar. This contains shortcut keys to some of the most frequently used commands which we use during the course of our working with Office Writer. Then whatever commands are there, like for example new save, open, or even undo, redo, spell check, grammar, printing, all the standard undo and redo and cut, copy, paste, all these commonly used commands are placed together under the standard toolbar. Now below the standard toolbar is the next bar which is called as the formatting toolbar. Under the formatting toolbar, we have got some of the formatting options like changing the font size, bold, italic, underline, alignment of the text, bullets and numbering, the highlighting of the text, the font colors, etc. All these and background colors for the page, all these formatting options to make our document look presentable, all the formatting options are placed together under the formatting toolbar. Below the formatting toolbar is the ruler bar, which gives you the exact idea about the tab positions or the margin areas, etc. Now you see the gray area over here on both the sides, extreme right and left, and on the top and the bottom are the areas which are the margin areas which are left. This we can increase or decrease according to our needs by just simply clicking here, and we can increase or decrease the margin area, and from here also we can increase it and decrease it. So this way, from this part also we can click over here and decrease or increase the margin area. Now on the right hand side here, on the extreme right hand side, is the bar which is called as the scroll bar, which helps you to move around the document. This is for the next page. If your document contains multiple pages, then you can directly navigate to the previous page or the next page using these buttons. This part is called as the zoom control, which helps me to zoom in and zoom out of the document. So this is the zoom button. The center part is the 100% zooming. This is the 100%. Here it goes on reducing or increasing depending upon the zoom level. This is the status bar below. Right below is the status bar which tells you what is the current status, that is the page number and the total number of characters, paragraphs, etc. will be displayed to you on the status bar. So this is the cursor but here, and we can move around the document by pressing the enter key. As you keep on pressing the enter key, the number of pages will increase. As of now we are in page number 1. Now when we have gone to page number 2, so by pressing the enter key we can move on from one page to the other just like a normal Word document. So basically these are the different parts of the OpenOffice document, that is the OpenOffice Writer text document. On this extreme side there are a few keys, that is the properties window. If I want to open something called as the properties window, the style and formatting tabs, and a clipart gallery which helps me to insert pictures into the document. As and when we move ahead, we will be able to clearly understand the use of these particular icons. As of now we are not going to go through it. So basically this is the entire structure of an OpenOffice Writer document. Let us now understand how to format text in a document.
Selection of text is a very important part of your working with documentation. So if you want to do any action on your document, that is formatting, editing, etc., you need to first learn how to select the text. So this is what we are going to learn in the further part, is how we can use different methods to select the text.
In order to understand selection better, here is a document which is already having some text in it. I have already kept it ready for your understanding, and here if we have to, I will teach you the different types of selection techniques. Now the most common way of selection is just simply drag your mouse around a particular sentence or a word and the word or sentence gets selected. But there are certain shortcut keys which we can use for quick selection. First is, if I want to select a single word, I have to simply keep my cursor on that word and double click it. The word gets selected. So double clicking on a word selects the word for me. Now if I want to select a particular sentence, then I click anywhere, keep my cursor anywhere on the sentence and triple click the sentence. Sentence means the starting, whenever it encounters a full stop, then that is considered as a sentence. So if I will keep my cursor anywhere on the sentence and click it twice, the entire sentence gets selected. This is a very easy method rather than just selecting it and then dragging it up to the sentence. So if I want to select a sentence, keep my cursor on the sentence and triple click it. This is for selecting of a sentence. Now selecting of a paragraph. Whenever there is an enter key pressed in between, then that particular set is considered as a new paragraph beginning. So here we have got this particular paragraph and I have pressed the enter key and it has come to the next. So this will be considered as one paragraph. This is the second paragraph. Say I keep my cursor here and I press the enter key, then this becomes the third paragraph and this is the fourth paragraph. So if I want to select an entire paragraph, then the best and easiest method of doing it is to keep my cursor anywhere on the paragraph and click my left mouse button 4 times quickly. 4 times when I press my mouse button, then the entire paragraph gets selected automatically. So this way, keep it over here and 4 times you click it, the entire paragraph gets selected. This is for selecting of the paragraph. Now if I want to select an entire document which is say around 20-30 pages and the whole document I want to select, or 5 or 6 pages, whatever, the easiest way of selection is to press the control key and the A button together. Control plus A button helps me to select the entire text. That is, if I've got 5 pages of text, the entire 5 pages will get selected. So how much ever the entire document can be selected by pressing Control and A button together. Now the next is for selecting of non-consecutive text. For example, if I want to select this particular text, I just simply drag it and leave it wherever I want to. But if I will release my mouse button, and if I try to select this part of the text separately, then the first selection is disabled. If I want to select both many different non-consecutive text together, then the method for doing it is I select the first text, keep my control key pressed, and select the next set of text. Then again the next set, and so on. So for selecting of non-consecutive text, we need to select the text, keep the control key pressed, and select the next set of text we want to select. Now this is about selecting of non-consecutive text. If I want to select, suppose I want to select a particular column. Now when this particular text is in a columnar format. Here you see that there is a column of names here, then there is a column of addresses here. Now if I want to select only the names, it does not allow me to do it. The entire text gets selected because it is considered like together. Now if I want to select vertical text, which means I need to select only this particular block of text, the option for doing that is I first have to go to the edit menu, click on selection mode, and click on block area. Now when I click on block area, then only the block that I have selected, that can be automatically only single block of vertical text can be selected. Once again over here, if I want to select only address, I can select over here, and this much only vertical text gets selected with the help of this. Now once my selection of vertical text is done, if I want to go back to my standard selection, I can click on edit, selection, and standard. So my block selection gets disabled and my standard selection gets enabled. So these are the different methods in which we can select our text. Selection of a text, as I told you, is very important for using certain editing commands like cut, copy, paste, or certain formatting commands. Let us understand the very simple one. We have already done it before, the copy paste command. So editing commands of cut, copy, and paste. Now suppose I want to select this text, and I have selected this text and I want to copy and paste the same text below. Then there are two options of doing it. One is I click on the copy button and come down to any other location where I want it and press the paste button. This is very simple. Another method of doing it is selecting it, press the Ctrl plus C button, that is copy, and come to the place where I want it, and then again say Ctrl plus V. So the two ways of doing it is through the standard toolbar, that is the copy paste option here, or using the Ctrl plus C, Ctrl plus V button. Another method is for copying of text for pasting. That is, I want to suppose select this and cut it from here. Then the option is to click on the Ctrl plus X or the cut button and place it, my cursor, wherever I want it, and click on the paste button or the Ctrl plus V button. So copying and pasting of text, this you have been doing it from your smaller classes, so you know very well. Ctrl plus C is for copy, Ctrl plus X is for cut, and Ctrl plus V is for copy button. So selection of text is, as I told you, is needed for the editing option of copy and paste buttons.
Let me now show you how to move around a document. That is, if my cursor is on a particular place, suppose my cursor is over here in this place, and I want to take my cursor to the beginning of the line, I can simply press the home key, which takes me to the beginning of the line, or the end key, which takes me to the end of the line. Here the cursor has now moved to the end of the line. When I press the home key on the keyboard, it moves to the beginning of the line. This is for moving around the cursor. Now if I want to move, I am somewhere in middle of my document and I want to straight away go to the beginning of my document, I will press Ctrl plus home button, which takes me to the beginning of the document. Ctrl plus home key will take me to the beginning, and Ctrl plus end will take my cursor to the end of the document. So these are ways. In between, if I want to move around from the previous page or the next previous page, I will simply click on the previous page option here in the scroll bar, previous page or the next page, directly from the with the next page from the part over here, that is to the right hand side on the scroll bar, will take me to the previous page or the next page. Control and home will take me to the beginning of the document. Control plus end will take me to the end of the document. So these are the shortcut keys for moving around the document. Now the last part of for today's class is the edit menu. If I want to find and replace certain text in my entire document, for example this Nagpur, I may be having this Nagpur in many different places and just simply copying and pasting the same thing below so that I can get more data and paste it, and I want to replace Nagpur with Nasik. So instead of going around, and if many multiple places I have got the same thing, I can just simply go to the edit menu and press on find and replace, or simply I can press the control and F key, which will allow me to open the same dialog box, that is the find and replace dialog box. Now here I can ask search for Nagpur and replace it with Nasik. Now here, if I will click on find all and replace all, then automatically together along with it will not ask me or prompt me for any particular option. It will simply replace all the Nasik, and 5 times it has got replaced, and automatically my entire Nagpur all around has got replaced with Nasik. We are now going to look at a new feature which is called as non-printing characters. Now whenever we type any text in a Word document, the text and characters are typed as and when we type these characters and text, there are certain texts like the space or the tab keys or the enter key, which is also considered as a character. So if I want to ever see at some places, whenever I am formatting a document, I may not be able to know exactly whether I have pressed the spacebar key or the tab key. For example, in this area I want to know whether it is the spacebar or the tab or the enter key wherever I have pressed it or no. If I want to know that, then the method of doing it is to find out the non-printing characters. Now for doing that, we have to click on the view button and click on non-printing characters. Now when I click on this non-printing characters, it will display to me the places which is the signs which show that this particular, for example, dots are the signs which are for the space bar. So wherever a space has been pressed, then a dot appears. If there is a tab, then it is a dash sign, and the enter key is using this particular symbol. So this is the way we can realize that the places in our document where the enter key has been pressed. So here enter key, this is enter key. Here there are spaces because dots are being displayed, and here also there are multiple space bars being pressed, and here this is the tab key. So these are called as non-printing characters. I can also get it from this non-printing characters here, or if I click, it's a toggle button. Once I click, it is on. I can see the non-printing characters, and this is the way once if I do not want to see it. I can also press the control and F10 key on my keyboard to get the same. That is control plus F10 will also display to me the printing or the non-printing characters. Now the last part is saving of a file. We can click on the save button and save a particular file wherever I want to. If I want to place it on the desktop, I'm going to give a name to it. Let's take IT Park, some name to it. And if I want automatic ODT extension, the file which is in the writer gets saved as ODT with an extension. And if you want to save it with a password, you have to simply click on save with password, and it will ask you for whatever password you want to give, and you can once again confirm the password and save your file. As of now, I am not giving a password to this, but if you want in OpenOffice Writer, you also have the option of saving with a password. So select the destination where you want to save your file and save the file, and automatically the file gets saved in with the ODT extension. So now with this, we come to the end of today's class. So we have learned in today's session, just a recap, we have learned how to create a document and how to save the document and save it along with a password. We have also learned the different parts of the Open Writer window, that is a menu bar, toolbar, and standard toolbar, formatting toolbar, etc. We have learned all the cursor movements, that is how home and control home and control end. We have also learned the copying and moving, tasting, selecting of text, all the different types of selection, single word, double clicking, and paragraph, document, etc. We've learned how to do select non-consecutive text. We also learned how to select vertical text. We have learned the finding and the replacing, and also we have learned the non-printing characters. So this is a gist of what we have learned in today's class. I hope you have understood it. Please try to download OpenOffice Writer, Apache OpenOffice, the method I have showed you already how to do it, and try to practice whatever we have learned. It would be very useful to you if you actually have a hands-on practice of what you have learned today. Thank you.